it's Miss Caroline. It's time for quick crafts. Today we are weaving paper. We're paper weaving. So I made an example beforehand to show you what it's like. Isn't that pretty? So we're not going to make something as intricate as this, but this was just an example to show you what you can do with paper weaving. So let's get started. Today I am going to use construction paper, scissors, and the only reason I'm using a pencil is to show you where I'm going to cut the lines before I cut them. Because I'm going to use a black piece of construction paper, that way the colors really pop when we weave it through the paper. So I am going to first make my lines and then we'll make our cuts. So this is kind of going to be like a woven paper placemat, I guess. You could make cards with this too, or animal shapes like I did my heart shape. You could do an animal shape as well, but I'm just going to show you how to get started. Alright, so when we're making our cuts, we don't want to cut all the way through the paper because then we're just going to have two pieces of paper. We're going to make a cut about an inch away from the edge and then go all the way across. That's not exactly a straight line, but it will do. If you wanted to do straight lines, you could get a ruler and figure it out that way. Alright, so I'm just going to try to make an, I think, odd number of lines because I think that will leave my end bits on the opposite side of the paper. That's just a theory though. We're going to test it out. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so if you wanted to get really crazy, you could make squiggles or zigzags and make it look like waves. Get creative with it. Alright, so I am going to cut the lines on my paper. It's not going to be exact because I didn't really think drawing the lines out thoroughly. But to make it easier, I'm going to fold my paper in half. So of course my lines aren't going to be exact, but I think I'll flip it over once I'm done. So I'm just going to make cuts kind of close to my white line. I can definitely tell that I did not draw a straight line, but that's okay. That at least gives me a guideline, yuck, 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 to go by. And try to cut it to at least the same spot, because you want to be able to thread your paper all the way. I know that's probably kind of hard to see because it's black. It's a dark piece of paper. Okay, so open it up. Kind of looks, it doesn't look pretty right now, especially because my cuts weren't on the lines, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to flatten it on the other side. And we're going to weave through on the not colored on side. Okay, so now we have to cut our pieces of paper. So since our lines are cut long ways, I'm going to cut my paper short ways because that's how we're going to be weaving it through. So again, doesn't have to be perfect. If you want it to be even, get a ruler, measure it out. This is just to give you an example. So I'm going to cut a few strips in green and a few strips in yellow. I think 2 is good. So my strips are cut about 1/2 inch. If you don't want to take as long weaving, cut them thicker, so about 1 inch wide. That would make your project go a lot faster. Okay, so when you weave something, you go over the top, under the next one, over the top, under the next one. So let's do that. We're gonna go over the top and under the next one. Over the top, under the next one. Over the top, under the next one. Over the top, under the next one. So I didn't plan exactly right, so an even number of cuts in your paper would have both of your ends on the same side, and then you could tape it down or glue the ends down. That way your paper bits don't slide everywhere. So I'm just going to push it to the end and then move to my next color. So since we started on top for the last strip, we're going to start on the bottom for this next one. So we're going to go over, so under, over, under, over. So it's going to be opposite from what you had before. And it takes some practice, but you'll get the hang of it. And then you just push it down a little bit and then move to your next color. So you could, if you had multiple colors of construction paper, you could use different colors. You could make patterns with it. If you don't even have construction paper, you could just color some white paper. You can make it look tie-dyed or stained glass-like. The possibilities are endless. So really, you just keep going opposite all the way down till you get to the other end of your paper. I don't think we're gonna do the whole craft because we'll be here for a while and I would be talking nonsense the whole time. But that gets you started. Like I said, you could make shapes with it. So I saw some that had turtle outlines and then the shell was woven paper. You could make cards with it. I know like Halloween's coming up. You could do a pumpkin shape and weave black into it. I don't know. There's a lot you could do with this. You just gotta use your imagination. So next week we're going to make, some people call them fortune tellers, some people call them cootie catchers. Whatever you call it, we're going to make some of those, but with animal faces. So it's kind of going to be like a puppet. So for that, you'll need paper, scissors, and something to draw or color with. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.